Okay, let's just get a bit closer. There we go. So moving on to another fragrance review. This time this is an interesting one. Interesting in the fact that I have, or let's just say what it is. It's Club de Nuit Intense Man by ARMAF, limited edition. So all of these bottles basically look the same sort of diamantly studded lid. Can be quite confusing. Without going off into a big tangent, it's basically another Creed Aventus clone. You'll see that a lot on the internet. Obviously there's a big reputation behind the house of Creed. They make very expensive fragrances. They've been around a long time, and the reason why these sort of things come onto the market is so that they're a more affordable way for Joe Blogs, Joe Average to sample it basically. And along with that, I have used and reviewed let me find it, this massive big black block Club de Nuit Intense Man. This is the EDP. So this is the EDP that looks exactly like the EDT. So make of what you will. And then you've got the slightly smaller version, which is the Parfum. So long and short of it, I gave this an 8 out of 10 back in the day. In contrast, so if I was to re-review it, I'd probably give it an 8.5 because I've used it more often. Obviously since then, that was many months ago. And again, drawing comparison with this one, I actually prefer the EDP. So again, going and looking in the reviews, I was slightly confused because this is meant to be the Parfum. So this should potentially, or should be, stronger than the EDP. Long lasting, more projecting and so on. From the research I've done and from the online reviews both on Amazon and different websites, this is very batch dependent. So this is fairly cheap, or sorry, the EDP and EDT ranges from anywhere from 25 up to £50 for like a big old block, 150 mil of this, 100 to 150 mil. This is slightly more expensive. So this, bear with me for the price comparison. So this ranges from like 45 to 60 pounds. So this is more expensive, but you get less of it. But again, due to the marketing, they say this is the Parfum. So again, that's what I bought into. Knowing how strong and radiant Club de Nuit Intense Man is, I assume that this will be, you know, an easy purchase. This will be like super strong, last 10 plus hours on your clothes. It will stay there for days. Compliment getter, masculine, mass appealing, Creed Aventus clone, compliments galore. That's what I got off of the original. I've only worn this a few times, and the sad thing is that when I wear this, the only compliment, or rather the only positive I found with the Parfum over the EDP is the fact that it's smoother. So the initial smell, a lot of people describe it being like lemon pledge or very synthetic and very harsh. Within half hour to an hour, that dries down anyway on the skin. So after that point, I really enjoyed the dry down and the notes, and you could pick it up. It was very strong, very masculine. And again, that's why I'm going to re-review that now and give that an 8.5. Obviously, there's a video of that previously from several months ago. And it's funny, by reviewing a similar product, obviously, you know, that I'm retrospectively giving that an 8.5, because this thing I give a 7. The reason I give it a 7, even though it smells very similar, even though some of the notes are kind of different, which I'll go over now. Again, I'm not going to go through the notes of the old one, but there are a few ingredients here and there that are different in both formulas. So top notes are lemon, pineapple, lime, black pepper, pink pepper and bergamot. Middle notes are jasmine, rose, freesia and lily of the valley. And the base notes are white musk, ambergris, leather, cedar and patchouli. So the ingredient profile is decent as it is with the EDP. I'm just slightly disappointed that, having looked at the reviews, the common denominator is that there's batch inconsistencies with this ARMAF Club de Nuit, which is a shame, because again, I was really looking forward to this. So we're going to put it on the skin, and I'm going to get to why I give this a 7 out of 10 and why I give the EDP and potentially the EDT an 8.5 out of 10. Okay, so we're going to apply the fragrance. There we go. I've literally wore it twice, 2 or 3 times, just to test. So both on clothes, on my skin, in 2 different environments. One was going out and one was the gym. So one hot and one not so hot. Wasn't really, you know, wasn't dancing or anything. I was just sort of standing there getting my lean on, just chilling and drinking. So a colder environment, and it's in the evening. So again, very powerful radiance, exactly the same as the EDP. However, the opening and even smelling it now is so much smoother and it's very pleasant. I do still rate this, just giving it a 7, but because of the fact that I've used something that, for me, on my skin, this is stronger, more projecting, more radiant and lasts longer than this. Doesn't make sense. So from my understanding, either it's a lie that this is the Parfum, this is closer to maybe the EDT, that they've repackaged, relabeled to make more money, or this is what it should be and this is just weaker for whatever reason. Because again, on paper the Parfum should be stronger than the EDP, and it isn't for me. So again, and it's not like it's, I bought them both from Amazon, and I'm going off of where I bought them from and looking at reviews. That seems to be that most people do like this, but I think that the people that have compared them both, or even used the EDT, a lot of comments that I saw and online is that this is either a lie and it's an EDT in Parfum limited edition packaging, which you pay more for. And it's just disappointing, because again, this is very good for the price. I can't knock this. So I really do recommend getting the ARMAF Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP, cheaper as well, than running the risk of getting either a bad batch or you just not being as impressed with a more expensive version of this, which you also get more of. So I can't really say more than that. You kind of get where I'm going from. It's just very disappointing, because again, the smell profile is exactly the same in my opinion. Obviously there's nuances with ingredients, but the dry down and the initial smell of this Parfum, the limited edition, is better. So that's a good thing, because lots of people complained about the opening of the EDP. However, what brings the mark down, marks down rather, for me, is the fact that I paid more money, I've got less of the product, it isn't as projecting, doesn't last quite as long, few hours less. So again, this on clothes, days, on the skin, 10-12 hours. Again, I've mentioned this in a previous video when I've worn this for work and so on, going out clubbing. It's very strong, it's very masculine, it's mass appealing, and it's a clone of Creed Aventus. So to kind of summarise, I would recommend, if you're looking in the market for a clone of Creed Aventus, or just generally a really masculine, strong, multi-purpose, sort of a mixture of a dark but fruity, smoky, yet fruity, it's got lots going on, and it's a big profile of ingredients. Buy the EDP. You take a big gamble looking into buying the limited edition Parfum. So you can see there's slight differences, not just in the size, but you've got the red writing, limited edition, where the other one's just the black. And this also looks a lot like the EDT, but again, I've obviously thrown all the boxes away and so on. One thing I will say, not that I'm going to dig it out, this did come with an excellent limited edition box with like a leather inlay, a thank you note, which was very nice. So in that aspect, I maybe could bring up to a 7.5, but that's not really reviewing the fragrance, which is all about. I'm not really concerned with the bottle. They look cheap and tacky, and just a block like an old 90s mobile phone. So again, I'm more just purely reviewing the price, the quality, the smell, how I detect it, and so on. So again, to reiterate, ARMAF Club de Nuit limited edition Parfum, I give a 7 out of 10. I would personally recommend getting the EDP version over this, unless you see this on offer. But even if you did, this is always very cheap, so just go with this. Avoid this one, limited edition, go with the Club de Nuit EDP. And there we have it.